All right, everyone, thank you for joining us today for the next installment in the WolfNet webinar series. Today we're going to be going over the WolfNet WordPress plugin, and we're going to be looking at the activation and basic implementation of the plugin. My name is Daniel Engel. I work in customer support here, and I'll be presenting this webinar today. We're going to be going over installation and activation of the plugin, how to use basic widgets on your site, and how to add the plugin features to posts and pages. The first thing that you're going to need to do is to log into your WordPress dashboard. The login URL may vary depending on your provider or how your site is set up. If it's a site that we are doing for you, please feel free to contact us for the login URL. Otherwise, your website host should be able to provide this for you. Once you're logged in, you should see a plugins item on the left navigation bar. If you mouse over that, you should see a submenu, and then you just want to click on Add New. The easiest way to find this is to just type WolfNet into the search field and hit Search Plugins. The WolfNet for WordPress plugin should appear, be the only result. Go ahead and click on the Install Now link and hit OK if any sort of pop-up appears, just to confirm the install. It should then download and install the plugin. All that's left to be done then is to click on Activate Plugin. That will bring you to, that will basically install the plugin and get a menu item added to your WordPress dashboard. What we need to do now is basically enter the activation key so it pulls from your IDX. That can be done under the plugin general settings. Just copy and paste the WordPress, the WolfNet plugin activation key that you got emailed to you, and a green check mark should appear next to it if it's valid. Once that appears, go ahead and click Save Changes, and that's basically it. It's installed. We're just going to do that real quick, just to show you how easy it is. So here we have just a WordPress backend. We're already logged in. We're going to go over to the plugins area, and we're going to add a new one. In the search box, we're just going to type in WolfNet and search those plugins. And as you can see, it's the only one that comes up currently, I guess. We're just going to click on the Install Now link, hit the OK. It's going to basically uncompress it and install it to your WordPress site. So right now it's installed. This is not activated. There's no paw icon on the left here. So we're going to activate it. And as you can see, it tells you at the top that it's been activated. It's showing up in the plugin list, and we have the paw menu on the left here. To get to the area where you enter your product key, mouse over the WolfNet paw, go to General Settings, and paste it in here. This one has been activated at one time, so it's saved in here. But basically, once you do that, this green check mark will appear next to this field, and then you can just hit Save Changes. Now the plugin is basically installed and ready to go. So let's look at the very first thing we're going to do today is the widgets. Currently, the plugin has 4 widgets that come with it. They can be used either in sidebars, header, footer bars, or we'll go over later how to insert them into posts and pages. The 4 widgets are the WolfNet Featured Listings widget, which basically can create a scrollable marquee property list to feature yours or your office's properties, or it can do more advanced criteria. That's what it's pulling from, but we'll go over that in the next webinar. The WolfNet Listing Grid. This can display a grid of properties based on your selected criteria. This can be used in sidebars, header, footer bars. It's probably better suited for posts and pages, but can work, definitely work as a widget. The WolfNet property list can display a text list of properties based on your criteria of choosing. It'll basically display hyperlinked links or hyperlinks to your IDX that will, based on what criteria you're looking for. The last one is the quick search widget, which is basically just a quick search that is probably best used on sidebars, possibly headers or footers. You could use it in a post, but it's good. It's a good widget for like your main homepage or any page where you want to give users an option to quickly search your IDX. To get to these WolfNet widgets, basically just look for the appearance item on the left navigation bar and click on Widgets from the submenu. It'll come up with a list of everything you have installed, so you may have to scroll down to see the WolfNet one since it's alphabetical. But these are the 4 I just spoke of, and let's take a look at those. We're going to go over to Appearance Widgets. And you can see the pre-installed ones are near the top here. And down here we have the WolfNet widgets. These 4 are the ones that came with the plugin, basically. Up here, and this may vary depending on the theme you're using for your site. Most WordPress themes will have a main sidebar, a showcase sidebar, and possibly a footer sidebar, or footer area, I guess, that you can use these in. So let's do the first one here, the featured listings. So basically, WordPress widget system, you can drag and drop where you want them to appear. Your site may have more things in the sidebar here, such as like calendar, blog roll, just basic things that come with WordPress sites, and they can be removed or left there, but it may just look different. So all I did was drag the WolfNet featured listings widget to the main sidebar. Since we're just going over basic use of these, I'm just going to show you the functionality of it. So we'll just call this featured listings. Scroll control basically can automatically scroll on like a marquee of properties, which I assume most people would want. Manual will give you arrows once you mouse over it, and you can click on to scroll it. We generally recommend the automatic. The agent broker item here will basically tell the widget to pull from either your listings, just your broker listings, meaning your office, or first years and then the broker. We'll just leave it on that, and max results, you basically can put how many properties you want the widget to pull in and scroll across. Let's change that to here. Hit save. It'll come up with a couple more scrolling options here. Currently the animation speed, 5 is the default. A lower number, if you go like to 1, it's going to scroll really fast. If you increase this number, say 20, it'll slow it down a bit, and it won't just zip through your properties. So once we have that set, hit save again, and then let's take a look at right here. And as you can see, without much any coding or anything, it's pulling in listings from your MLS's IDX that we provide, scrolling them across. You can see the manual control when I mouse over it. But the scrolling marquee, it does work well on footer areas, give it a little more room so people can see them scrolling across. But I mean, it works pretty well in the sidebar as well. And depending on your theme, you may have different options or different areas to place these widgets in. The next one is the listing grid. one is going to pull in a grid of properties. It's not going to scroll or anything based on the criteria we pick here. I'm just going to get rid of the featured listing scroller so we keep it a little uncluttered. So the listing grid has two modes, a basic and advanced mode. Basic mode is going to give you just a few basic criteria to choose from. The advanced mode, which we're not going to cover in this webinar, will give you more control over what you're actually showing in the grid and can create pretty customizable property grids. So we're going to give this a title. And again, the title is optional. It'll just appear above the grid. I'm going to leave it on basic. The saved search box works in conjunction with the advanced search, so you can leave that for now. Agent/broker will pull from agent and broker, your listings or the office's listings, or the entire MLS, regardless if it's by your office or not. And then we're going to hit save just to get some more basic options here. So for this one, let's say you want to pull from properties in a city close by. But let's just throttle this down a bit and just show 6 in the grid. Since we're putting it in the sidebar, you may not want to have 50. Otherwise, your sidebar is going to get pretty large. So we're just going to save that and check it out. So here's the listing grid. Showing the 6 that I chose. Since we used the basic criteria with just the city name of Minneapolis, it just basically pulled 6 listings in Minneapolis. I'm not 100% sure how it pulled them. It looks like it did basically by price. But again, this can be configured with the advanced creation options, and we'll go over that in the next webinar. Let's get rid of the listing grid. And property list. This, again, some of these widgets are better suited for posts and pages, but can work in sidebars, again, depending on your theme. The property list is going to basically function the same as the listing grid, except instead of a grid of properties with photos, it's just going to give hyperlinks with a bit of info about the properties. So these are really good for creating posts and pages. But here it is in the sidebar. So we give it a title. I'll show you where that appears. We're going to do basic again. I'm just going to hit save to get the basic options up. Minneapolis, let's do a max price this time so we don't get super expensive listings. And again, this is going to be a list of text, so 50 may be a little overwhelming for someone to look at. Let's just do 5 here. And again, you can choose from where you're pulling from. All is your entire MLS. Agents and broker is you and your office's listings, etc. So we have that set. We're going to hit save. And then check it out. So here's the property list. Again, the sidebar on this particular theme is fairly narrow, so we're not getting a ton of info on this. But here's the title I entered, property list test, along with the 5 that it pulled, starting at 200,000. Again, with the advanced search, you'll be able to create more customized and specific searches to get these lists generated. That's the property list. Get rid of that. And then the quick search. This is actually one that works better as a widget rather than within posts. You can always add it to a post if you want to throw a quick search onto, any sort of blog entry or whatnot. But as you can see, the options are pretty limited in this right now. So basically, we'll just call it whatever you would like and hit save. I'm going to check that out. And here it is. You can search by either location, by putting an address or city zip code in here. Or if you click on here, it'll give you the option to put in an MLS number. Hitting search. Hitting search should bring you to your search results, which currently are not displaying. So we'll go over that in a little bit here. We'll revisit this in a bit. But basically, it'll bring you to your IDX, just like the WolfNet IDX, like how it would appear on your either subdomain or on your site. So let's get rid of that thing. And I'll just open up a footer area here and just throw in the featured listing scroller so you can kind of see how it looks on with a little bigger area. So we set the options again. This time we're going to check it out on the bottom now. And as you can see, it's a lot more impressive when you have more real estate to work with here. No pun intended. All right, so those are the 4 basic widgets. As you can see, they're pretty easy to use and configure. Again, there is advanced configuration for all of these, but we'll go over that in another webinar. Using the plugin items within posts and pages, the same 4 widgets are also available to be inserted into posts or used on pages. You got the featured listings, the listing grid, property list, and the quick search. Basically, the plugin is going to add a WolfNet plugin icon to the WordPress visual post and page editor. And when you click on it, it will pop up a window and give you options of what you can insert. Once you click on one of these buttons, it'll come up with another window that will allow you to customize the criteria. Once you're all done and save that, it's going to insert a shortcode into a post that will basically tell the plugin what to display. And let's take a look at those. So let's try using these in a post. I'm just going to add a new one here. Called featured listings. As you can see, the PA is showing up here in the toolbar. It doesn't show up in your HTML, so if anyone is wondering where it is, just make sure they have visual selected. Click on the PA and click on featured listings. The options screen looks basically the same as it did in the widget section. Same sort of options. I'm going to put in a scroll speed here. I'm going to pull from agents and broker again and give it 25 things max to pull from. Clicking on insert shortcode will put in this text. This obviously won't show up as this text in the post. Once it's actually published, it'll pull in the featured listing scroll. And like I said, these can be inserted inline into a post anywhere. So if you wanted to write a blurb or you're going to be, focusing on a certain area or whatnot, you can write that up top here. And then the shortcode is below, and we'll see what that looks like here. Just going to click Publish. And check it out. So here's the post. we titled it Featured Listings. This is the text that we put above the shortcode, and this is the actual title that we put in the options for the shortcode creation. And again, that's optional, but this is the Featured Listings scroller integrated into a post. Do another one here. So we're going to check out the listing grid here. Edit, same options as the widget. We're going to leave the title at this time. Again, the advanced mode will be for the next webinar, where you can really narrow down what you want to display here. But let's just say we just want to focus on home with a certain zip code here. I'll pull from the entire MLS. But here we only want like 9 to show up. So insert the shortcode. Again, you can put text or whatnot, images, anything around this, as long as this is in here. This basically will tell WordPress what to display once it's published. We're going to publish that. As you can see, this could be very useful for highlighting certain neighborhoods or areas in your area. Notice we have it's showing 9, since that was our max number to display, as these can get a little overwhelming if you have too many in there. And this particular theme has room for 3 across. Yours may vary as far as your post template goes. All right, let's do property list. The property list, I feel like this one looks a lot better in posts and pages rather than on the sidebar. Again, it has the option to do the advanced search, but we're just going to do zip code here, and we'll do a max price of $150,000. Let's return 9 again. That looks pretty good. And we're going to insert that. And let's say we're going to call this post and publish it. And there's no home center, 150,000 in this area apparently. So let me just change this criteria here. I guess it would help if I put in a valid zip code. So that should actually produce some results this time. And hey, look at that. So the property list will give you clickable links to your listings. Just it's sort of like the property grid, but again without the pictures and whatnot. And hey, look at that, it worked. You click on it, it'll bring you to your search solution and the actual listing. The last one is the quick search. I'm not going to go over inserting that into a post. You feel free to do so, as just giving people, a quick ability to search your site after possibly reading a post. But again, that one is probably best suited for sidebars and whatnot. That's about it for this first part of the WolfNet WordPress plugin webinar series. Next time we're going to be going over creating advanced links and using the advanced search builder to more customize widgets and post items. Thank you.